These are the best of the best when it comes to the biggest and baddest. Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're finishing off our series of the best video game boss battles with our definitive list featuring the best of all time. In case you haven't been following along, we've been counting down the best boss battles of the 80s, 90s, 2000s, and 2010s in separate videos.
I will make you suffer!
Now that those are out of the way, we're taking a look at who made the cut on those lists and whittling it down to the very best of all time. In order to make it onto this list, a boss battle will have had to place very high earlier on in the series. But if you think something's missing here, be sure to check out those videos to see if your favorites still made the top 10 in their respective decades.
I was tasked by the gods to kill Ares.
Number 10, Cronos, God of War 3.
The murderer of Gaia enters my tomb.
We've seen villains that can claim to be larger than life, but none can even hope to come close to this titan. Literally, he's a titan. Serving as both a boss fight and a living level, Kratos not only has to cut his way through hordes of smaller enemies, but also has to try to bring down the most humongous creature in all of Greek mythology.
I will make you into a bloody stain.
The ever-shifting layout not only keeps the tension high, but also shows just how insignificant you are compared to the Father of the Gods, which only makes the final QuickTime event all the more rewarding as you grant him a rather gruesome death. Number 9, Dracula, Castlevania. Every villain has his beginning, and while his later appearances in the franchise arguably packed more of a punch, Dracula's first clash with Simon Belmont in the original Castlevania is still a classic boss battle worthy of praise. Able to teleport across the screen and continuously cast Hellfire, players would find themselves frantically using the whip like there was no tomorrow. Later assuming a more demonic form, Dracula would rain down fire from above and try to pin players in a corner. His greatest moments as a boss can be debated, but no one can deny that this was definitely a great place to start. Number 8, Jubileus the Creator, Bayonetta. Who would have guessed that God would have turned out to be something of a jerk, as this almighty deity plans to spread Paradiso's dominion over both Earth and the Inferno. The only thing standing in its way is the most kick-ass witch to ever grace video games. Players not only have to avoid being impaled, but they also have to constantly adapt their strategy as Jubileus transforms the environment around them, ranging from lava to ice, thunderclouds, and even outer space. Of course, the crowning moment comes with the final blow as Bayonetta plays her trump card and summons the demon queen Sheba, who then proceeds to punch God so hard she sends him flying into the sun. There are no words for how epic that is. Number 7, Virgil, Devil May Cry 3, Dante's Awakening.
So, this is what they call a heartwarming family reunion, eh?
One of the two sons of the legendary Dark Knight Sparta, Virgil turned his back on his humanity, unlike his brother Dante, pursuing the power of his demon heritage no matter the cost. As any true DMC fan will tell you, Virgil is as tough as they come in terms of challenge and will lay the smackdown on any unprepared player on multiple occasions. Able to deflect gunfire, teleport all across the stage, and even have access to his own devil trigger, should he manage to catch you in a chain combo, you can kiss your ass goodbye. Despite the difficulty spike, the reward of claiming victory and the bittersweet ending that comes with it was worth all those inevitable losses. Number 6, Ganon, The Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time. In what many consider to be one of the greatest video games ever created, no one can deny that the final battle against the villainous Ganondorf more than lived up to the epic standards that had been set beforehand. After activating the Triforce of Power, the King of Evil is transformed into a monstrous beast wielding 2 gigantic swords and one hell of a murderous itch. Initially lacking a Master Sword, players had to rely on their alternative weapons, such as the Hammer or Bigoron Sword, in order to keep him at bay before reclaiming the legendary blade and finally slaying the Dark Beast. Although Koloktos from Skyward Sword was also a fight for the ages, we think you'll agree that Ganon is still that much more legendary. Number 5, Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson's Punch-Out! Have you ever wanted to knock out a former heavyweight champion? Well, in this surreal gaming experience, you got your chance. As Little Mac's final opponent, Mike Tyson is dead set on a brutal fist exchange. The first 90 seconds of this fight aren't infamous due to Tyson launching a series of uppercuts that can immediately knock you onto the canvas. Survive that, and you'll be able to navigate your way through a series of lightning jabs and unpredictable blows until you eventually connect with a hit of your own. Despite the ridiculousness of actually fighting Mike Tyson, there's no doubt it made for the 80s most rewarding boss battle.
All right, that's right. He's down. Press A, B, 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 A, B, A, B, A, B, A, B, A, B, A. Get up. There you go. You're up. There you go. Fight. Come on, back in.
Number 4, Ornstein and Smough, Dark Souls. No other boss in this unforgiving franchise has ever come close to matching the acclaim of this infamous duo. Ornstein is swift with the power to unleash lightning-charged projectiles, while Smough is slower, but the breadth and strength of his swings can easily crush you. Depending on which boss you choose to focus your attacks on first, you had better be prepared for the second phase of the fight, as the enemy that's left standing will absorb their fallen comrade's abilities. While Bloodborne's Gehrman is also worthy of praise for the challenge he provided, the nature of this battle and the dynamic between the two ensures that the Dragon Slayer and the Executioner have set the bar really high for any to follow. Number 3, Psycho Mantis, Metal Gear Solid.
It's useless. I told you, I can read your every thought.
Never has breaking the fourth wall left such a profound effect on video games as a whole.
What do you think now? Can you feel my power?
The first member of the Foxhound unit that Snake encounters on his mission, this telepath made it very clear he was unlike any other boss that the 90s had ever seen. He wasn't just able to possess other characters, he was able to possess your PlayStation.
I see that you enjoy Konami games.
Able to predict your movements unless you switched your controller port, even making you think your television had crashed. Psycho Mantis truly took us on a mind trip the likes of which many have tried to replicate, but none can really hold a candle to.
Now I will move your controller by the power of my will alone.
Number 2, Mr. Freeze, Batman Arkham City.
Impressive, Batman. I doubted you would actually return.
We already knew that the Dark Knight had one of the greatest rogues galleries in any medium, but who would have thought that one of them would make for such an exceptional boss battle?
I believe I do.
Players found themselves presented with an unexpected challenge here, as after landing a hit, Mr. Freeze made it impossible to repeat that same move, forcing you to switch motifs and use the environment around you to break apart his ever-adapting power suit. Whether it's stealth takedowns or using various gadgets, you'll barely find a moment to breathe, as it won't be long before Gotham's coldest villain is hot on your heels. In the end though, we never felt more like the world's greatest detective than we did right here.
Please, find Nora. She's all I have left.
Before we get to our pick for the number 1 boss battle of all time, here are a few honorable mentions. Number 1. Avian, the Fifth Colossus. Shadow of the Colossus. Every one of the colossi could take a spot on this list due to the variety in both environments and mechanics, but ultimately it was the fifth colossus that just nudged ahead of the rest. We had just about gotten used to climbing gigantic beasts and exposing their multiple weak points both on foot and atop our loyal steed Argo, but that all got turned on its head when we had to slay a colossus mid-air. With the ever-shrinking grip meter accompanied with heart-stopping aerodynamics, the result was a boss battle that was as exhilarating as it was nerve-wracking. Throw in a pang of guilt for killing such a marvelous creature, and you have what we believe is the best boss battle of all time. 10 entries is painfully limited when talking about the great bosses we've overcome throughout the years, so be sure to check out the other videos in this series to see more. After that, if you still think we forgot something, be sure to let us know in the comment section, and for more great videos published every day, be sure to attack the weak spot on the subscription button for massive damage.